Hello everyone! Welcome back to another one of my unscripted, unhinged lore dump videos! Yay! I am so excited to share the rest of my holidays with you guys. I will be somewhat speeding through this because I am actually getting ready to go on vacation for my birthday this weekend, which is happening just a couple of days after I upload this. Let's go! I actually contemplated making a silly little animation to say no video this week, but this is actually surprisingly way easier because I recorded all of my speed paints in advance, so I've got like a stockpile of speed paints to show you guys. Right now I'm working on making character references for my favorite SRA peoples. Yes, I pick favorites. No, I'm not sorry. But anyways, so yeah, I'm going on vacation. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna go touch the mouse at Disney World! Michael Mouse cannot run from me forever. I am going to touch the mouse. And by that I mean probably give him a high five. I am not a creep, I swear. And I'm actually gonna be enjoying my first day at the park when this uploads, because it should be Sunday today, I believe. I upload on Sundays, right? I think I know my schedule. Anyway, so I'll probably be posting silly little photos and stuff on my Twitter if you're interested in the shenanigans I get up to. We'll see if they let centaurs on the rides. There's good chance they might not, but I'm gonna try. Let my fat ass on the ride, my big old dumpy, please. I want to go on the Flight of Passage. Anyways, so onto the actual video. Yay, let's go. So last time, on my last lore dump, we left off with the last Zephyrus, or spring holiday, Omnimoris, and that was my Valentine's Day replacement, which is kind of funny, because in SRA on Earth, they don't even have Valentine's Day, they have Schmingus Day, which will probably come up in a relatively soon video in my session story times. So anyways, look forward to that. But I believe it is time that I get into the rest of the year on this plane, which I have actually finally named so I don't keep calling it the Outer Planes. Dop World is officially called Sanctuary, which I'm very pleased that I found a name before we actually got there in campaign. So, yay! Welcome to Sanctuary, everyone. I'm so good at naming things. Kind of. Anyways, so the first festival that we're going to cover today is the Notos Festival. And this is the summer festival. It is just pretty much like all of the other season welcoming festivals. It's 3 days long. It's got the usual festivities, drinking, dancing, music. Wow, no one is surprised. But many Gita actually travel to the somewhat outer zones where the weather and terrain is more extreme to catch some sun and visit some lakes and things like that. Fishing, swimming. Yes, Gita can swim. Wahoo! It's good stuff. But one of the most popular things is actually the fitness competitions amongst the young adventurers, overseen by the Adventuring Guild for non-magic and the Ferryman's Metamorphic Assistants for magic competitions. And the winners are usually promoted in their guild. It's sort of the guild's way of like scouting out new talent, I suppose, if you want to call it that. But yeah, so not much more to say about the Notos Festival. It's warm. People are doing summery things. Yay! But a festival that has a little bit more to it is the Falling Stars Festival. Yay! Now this festival celebrates a once-a-year meteorological sky event in the middle of Notosalve, the end of summer, that we know as a meteor shower, but here it's called the Falling Stars Festival. Let's go! Nobody's been able to figure out why this event occurs at the same night every single year, but to celebrate anyways, everyone puts out all the lights at night to watch the stars fall. Surprisingly enough, with how not consumerist the Gita are, this is surprisingly a very consumer holiday. There is a lot of like merchandise to celebrate. I mean, people are making accessories and jewelry and clothing all based around this festival, because one of the most important parts of this festival is the beauty pageant before dark. And I will say, I'm not personally a huge fan of beauty pageants, but I honestly think this one is super duper cool, namely for the reason that Gita beauty standards are not necessarily based on what you look like precisely. They're more based on physical markers of what you've been through, which I think is so cool. Which is a little self-absorbed because I made it, but I don't care. I'm allowed to say my things are cool, because if I don't, who will? Anyways, so in Gita culture, things like scars are not... Some people on the prime material might be like, oh no, you poor unfortunate soul, you've been scarred. Oh no, terrible, you must have gone through something really painful to acquire that. However, Gita, when they see that you have a scar, it is more of a sign that it is a life well lived, and you have overcome obstacles that quite potentially tried to kill you, and you went no, and didn't let it kill you. And it's seen as almost youthful, because once you metamorphosize or turn undead, you cannot heal yourself anymore, because you are undead. Your skin does no longer regenerate. You actually have to go to a metamorphic assistant to get healed up. So scars are actually seen as like youthful, with vigor and excitement, and wow, you've lived a wonderful life. So the more scars you have, literally the cooler you are. Things like wrinkles, like crow's feet and smile lines, mean somewhat the same thing, but in a more mature sense of beauty. Like, it shows how far you've come and how much you've grown since your smooth little baby self. There are other beauty standards that are a little less touching and meaningful, like post-metamorphosis. Things like long horns and long hair are seen as like a sign of taking good care of yourself, and caution and sensibility, because you can't grow those either once you're undead. Pre-metamorphosis, they're also seen as rather pretty, but there's not really so much emphasis on it because you can still grow them out, which is why I have short hair and short horns. I will have the opportunity to grow them at a later date. Right now, I focus on comfort. So anyways, because of these different beauty standards for pre-metamorphosis and post-metamorphosis, they are actually divided into those two groups during the pageant, because you wouldn't... Like, it wouldn't necessarily be fair to put a adolescent up against a fully grown adult, you know? Like, pre-metamorphosis, you're supposed to be young and youthful and carefree and wah! But post-metamorphosis, you're a grown-ass adult, and beauty standards change a little bit with adulthood. So, anyways, the winner of each competition is named the Evening Star, and there's 2 Evening Stars because there's 2 competitions, but they're rewarded with that year's prize accessory, which is like a collectible thing, kind of like a trophy, but like you can wear it. And it varies from year to year and town to town. There's no real standardized accessory, but one of the most beloved is the Crown of Stars, which is a crystallized flower crown of flowers known as starbursts that kinda sorta vaguely resemble lilies from the prime material. But it's not like any of them know that, because nobody's been to the prime material, except for me! Anyways, so moving on to the next festival, the Eurus Festival is yet another festival kicking off a season, this time harvest season, or fall, or whatever you want to call it. Towards the end of this season, the plants in the outer zones start withering away and not being harvestable anymore during the winter and things like that. So Gita will use this opportunity to utilize all of the more hard-to-grow luxury ingredients that won't be around during the colder months. It's basically just like all the other seasonal festivals, but with a heavier emphasis on food, good eatin'. It's also a pretty good holiday for clothes makers, because people in the outer zones begin stocking up on warm clothes and shawls and things like that to make it through the harsh winter. Some Gita will even travel from as far as Zone 2 all the way to Zone 6 to take advantage of the increase in sales, as they wouldn't have much luck selling in the mild-weathered inner zones. The next holiday is the Night of Light, which is actually a sister holiday to the Night of Blood, and they sound very different because they are very different. This holiday is during the second and last blood moon of the second moon, because that thing only turns red 2 times a year. Wow! Whereas the first holiday, the Night of Blood, was somewhat of a grim reminder of the only time that Gita turned against Gita, the only real war in their society. The Night of Light is a hopeful holiday to remember the one night that some of the lost came home. Aww. During the first year on Sanctuary, once the cold months began for the outer zones, a small portion of the lost who couldn't bear the freezing temperatures without shelter actually ended up coming back peacefully and remorsefully, like, oh, I'm sorry that I kind of tried to kill you and take your place because it's cold out there. Oopsies. But yeah, no hard feelings. They let them back, and they were welcomed home, because it is home. They're still Gita. So every year since then, on the very same night, every town will light up their torches and crystals and everything they can get their hands on through the night to guide the lost home. The entire border wall in Zone 6 is lit up by magic users and torches and crystals and everything. Anything they can get, all in hopes that even just one more lost will find their way home. But no one has ever come back since the first year. But the Gita carry on the tradition, both in hope and to remind themselves that the lost are not the enemy. They're family, and they're welcome back anytime they're ready. So it's a very sweet holiday. It's sort of it's a cultural reminder of, even though there was a war and even though there was bad blood at one point, they're still family. And if they're willing to come back and, I don't know, play nice, then they're allowed. But moving right along to the next holiday, we've got the Prisma Harvest. Now, what is Prisma, you might ask? I will tell you. So, one night a year in Eurus, a special kind of tree deep within Zone 9 finally drops their seeds after laying dormant for the entire year, like littering the ground with scaly cones that shimmer with all the colors of the rainbow. They're very pretty. Now, outer-planar folk may tell you money doesn't grow on trees, and that might be true for those that use gold as currency. However, for the Gita, it totally does. This is a night that adventurers have prepared for all year, going over strategies and training to be the fastest, most efficient cone collectors known to Gita kind, because the more cones they bring back, the more they get paid. Because these cones are actually descaled and deseeded. The seeds are given back to adventurers to replant in the zone they came from, with varying degrees of success. But the scales are kept, crystallized, and used as currency. Yay! So that is what Prisma is. Every adventuring team gets like a small cut of scales from the prismatic cones they collect, and that is what Prisma is. It is the crystallized scales that are traded and used as currency and things like that. And so there's like a huge incentive to get out there and get as much as you can, the limited supply, before others do, because there's not a whole lot of these trees, and they only drop it once a night, and everyone wants it. So the attitudes that surround this holiday are almost kind of like, Black Friday. Like, get there as early as possible to make as much money as possible. You know, the whole survival of the fittest mentality, every team for themselves. It almost kind of feels like the Hunger Games, fending yourself off from the terrors of Zone 9, all while trying to get that cash. It's intense. People's desperation to get as much Prisma as possible actually gave rise to the common Gita phrase, tree climber, meaning someone who's greedy or only in something for the money. Gold digger. Due to the fact that some Gita have even been known to arrive a night early and attempt to climb the trees, which is very hard for centaurs, to collect the unripe prismatic cones. It never works, though, because they're underdeveloped and the scales are too thin to be used, so they basically just waste money. It's not good, but tree climbers, let's go! Next holiday is Feast of the Third Moon. It's towards the end of Euro Valley. It's pretty much the last hurrah with like a big feast like the Eurus Festival. Honestly, it's just kind of an unspoken fact that the first Gita on Sanctuary saw a really bright star that night. So bright that it became called the Third Moon later, but and they just decided that was a good enough reason to party about it. I mean, what can I say? These centaurs came from the Feywilds, and old habits, in fact, die hard. So, the Boreas Festival is yet another 3-day seasonal holiday, welcoming winter, Boreas, awesome, wonderful. Though this one's feasts are a little bit more meat-heavy, as now, in the colder months, they kind of have to rely on the farming and livestock from the mild-weathered inner zones for food. The outer zones are honestly pretty barren right now. It's cold out there. although it does differ from the other seasonal festivals in one big tradition. Gift giving! Yay! And now, wait, hear me out here, hear me out. I can explain how this is different from Christmas. I know it's in winter, and I know it's got gifts, but there's a catch. The first day of the festival is dedicated to giving gifts to each other. However, if someone gets you a gift and you don't get them anything, they are thereby absolutely allowed to prank the shit out of you for the rest of the festival, which is 2 more days after that, so watch your back. Because of this, you're pretty much encouraged to get everyone in town at least just a tiny, tiny little something for pretty much everyone you know, even if it's just as simple as picking them a nice flower. Well, flowers are a little hard to come by right now in the outer zones because it's very cold, but I don't know, paint them a cool rock. It's not that hard. Give them just a teeny tiny little something to say, hey, I didn't forget you, please don't prank me. But if you do get pranked, it's not usually a huge deal. Pranks are almost always small and harmless, like a foul-smelling prestidigitation spell trapped in a box given as a gag gift, or prank love letters, or even just like jumping out from behind a tree and spooking the hell out of someone. Mean or harmful pranks are heavily looked down upon, though. Like, this is supposed to be fun for everyone, even if you forget to get someone a gift. Because hard feelings make a town really hard to live in. So don't be mean to people, and get people gifts is the best thing to live by. Don't be mean and give people gifts. That's my new life motto. Anyways. So, the next holiday, and we're actually getting really close to the end here, the next holiday, the second to last holiday actually, is called Homecoming, and you can tell I'm very creative with names. Sanctuary, Homecoming, I'm very clever. This is sarcasm, by the way. Anyways. So this is pretty much the most quiet and serious holiday that the Gita have. It remembers the day that the Gita came to Sanctuary due to the founder's deal gone wrong, gone right, and his subsequent self-sacrifice to climb the spire that lies at the center of the plane to find out what's on the top. I'll expand more on the founder and what he did in a history lore dump, probably. I mean, let me know in the comments below if you actually want to see that. But as far as this holiday goes, the only real traditions are to set an extra seat at the dinner table just in case he ever comes home. So, you know, no matter where he goes, he's welcomed with a warm meal and a place to sit. And to release glowing lanterns at dark to send up well wishes and hopes and dreams to cheer him on in his journey up the spire. So it's a very quiet holiday. There's no huge feasts, there's no drinking, well, people might drink at home, but like, that's their own prerogative. What they do in their spare time is none of my business. But there's no huge parties. It's just you spend your time with your loved ones, being grateful for what you have and where you are in life. And you set an extra plate for the founder just in case he comes back, and you send him up all your good wishes, and that's it. It's a very quiet holiday. What isn't a quiet holiday, however, is the final holiday of the year, the Metamorphosis of the world. Now, this is by far one of the most involved holidays of the year. Like, it's got the most going on. The Metamorphosis of the world celebrates the death of a year and the beginning of its life as a new one. So just like every Gita goes through their own metamorphosis, this is, well, the Metamorphosis of the world. It's in the name. I'm great at naming. Anyways, so there are many common traditions in this holiday, but they are all sorted into these 3 categories. And like the 3 categories, there are 3 days of this festival. There is the day of the mind, the day of the muscle, and the day of magic. And there's a lot of different traditions during all of these days. There's like things that aren't exactly related to any of the 1 days, like celebrating this year's accomplishments instead of New Year's resolutions, because this is a New Year's replacement, and fortune telling of the year to come. There are some people out there that can do that scrying stuff, and it's really cool, and people will go get their fortunes told, and oftentimes they come true. Oftentimes they don't, though, because not everyone's good at it. But, you know, fun things like that. But By far, the most celebrated things are the contests that are held on each day. Gita really like their contests. They like to show how good they are at things, and they like to boost each other up. They like to lift each other up by saying, wow, you are so good at things. Show me you are good at things. It's wonderful. But first of all, the Day of the Mind is celebrated with feats of intellectual strength, and while many contests are held that day, like poetry contests, acting contests, debate contests, I mean, like, you can have, like, hours-long debates on this day. It's insane. But the most popular contest is the Battle of Wits, where every contestant has honed their mind and sharpened their tongue all year in preparation to see who can provide the most vicious verbal lashing of them all. It's a roasting competition. If you cry, you lose. The Day of the Muscle is about physical feats, from sparring to weightlifting, but races are one of the most popular, as they really just channel those old, deep-rooted centaur instincts. And though it's not actually a competition with any prizes, the town-wide tug-of-war is pretty popular too, just because it's just fun. And the final day is a day of magic, for every magic user to show off their magical prowess, and despite all of the various competitions that this day might bring, I mean, you've got duels, and you've got druids doing druid competition things. I don't know, grow the biggest tree. But at the end of this day, all capable magic users come together when it starts getting dark to collectively cast a spell for everyone in the town to enjoy, turning a designated row of little fires into a dazzling display of light and color to send off the year with a bang. Pyrotechnic spell, baby! We got fireworks up in here! So, yeah, it's New Year's, but it's a little different. It's New Year's with a twist. And with that, we have successfully celebrated an entire Geetan year! Holy shit, let's go! Thank you all so much for sitting with me through all of this. I know I kind of sped through these ones in comparison to the last one where I talked for like 57 hours, but I had a lot of fun writing these, and I had just as much fun sharing these with you. I love sharing my stuff with you guys. I really appreciate all the support you guys give me. I really hope you guys at least enjoy this a fraction of how much I enjoy this sort of stuff. It brings me a lot of joy, and I want to bring you guys a lot of joy, or at least a little joy. Maybe even just a smile. A smile would be nice. I hope I make some of you smile. If you have any questions or comments about any of the things that I talked about during this video, or even the last video, or any videos, just talk to me, honestly. Yeah, drop it in the comments below. Any questions, comments, concerns, curiosities, anything else that starts with a k sound. But yeah, drop some comments. I love interacting with everyone. I love all of you guys. Y'all make me the happiest centaur in the world. I don't know how many of me are actually out there on here on this strange plane called YouTube, but I don't know. Make sure to take care of yourselves, guys. Drink water, touch grass, get some sunlight, and, like, look at a cool bug or something. I swear to you, it's so good for your health to look at cool bugs. I promise. I promise. I'm so serious right now. Have a wonderful and amazing day, because I know that I am right now, and y'all deserve that too. And, I really can't wait to see y'all next time. Have a great day. Bye!